So this student writing sample, this consists of an essay that was written in fulfillment of a third informal writing assignment in an interdisciplinary spring honors college seminar in East Carolina University entitled Ethics, Global Health, and the Fundamental Causes of Disease. The third paper is sort of the freest paper. I've given them some sort of structured and some assignments in the first two writing assignments. The third one, they're allowed to write, students are allowed to sort of select a topic of their choosing. So it sort of encourages self-directed learning. The essay here, I think, really sort of exemplifies student writing in the class, both in form and content. In form, the persuasive essay is actually kind of difficult because it really requires the writer to do two different things. At first, the writer really has to offer their own unique individual voice. If their personal opinion, their personal judgment does not come through, then it is not an essay. There's multiple times when I actually have to tell students that using the personal pronoun is not only allowed in writing an essay, it's actually encouraged. But that's not enough. That doesn't make a persuasive essay. A persuasive essay has to actually have subjective judgment wedded to a very tight argument, and that's really exactly what you see in this paper. There's the authors really, their personal voice really shines through, but it's wedded to a really tight, rigorous argument on the actual subject of the essay itself. So I think what there is there shows a really good understanding of how to actually make an argument, which is not something that, it's a little bit more difficult than it sounds. I mean, you really have to have premises, you have to have a conclusion, and then you have to have a chain of inferences that lead from the premise to the conclusion, and it really has to be done sort of very rigorously in order to have a good argument, and you really find that here. So that's sort of the form. I think that's done really well in this essay. In terms of content, the sample really sort of successfully integrates many of the sort of the themes and issues that are covered in the class. And the class is about ethics, global health, and the fundamental causes of disease. So this essay in particular focuses on a number of different things. It focuses on, and you can see this by the title, the role of international political economies in producing distributions of health across the globe. Second idea is really sort of the theme of the class, the idea that social conditions are actually fundamental causes of disease. And what's really, really, really important is the critical distinction between global health and global health care. So those are the kinds of ideas that are discussed all throughout the paper. There's a really good energy, there's a really good voice, there's a really good use of evidence, and there's some really excellent arguments that are being made sort of revolving around these three different things. So the writer demonstrates command of a lot of these difficult concepts, and I think one of the sort of the most important things about this paper and my classes in general is that they're really fundamentally interdisciplinary. I'm an interdisciplinary scholar and an interdisciplinary teacher, and the class is interdisciplinary. And so really to do well on this essay, you have to be able to synthesize ideas drawn from a variety of disciplines and approaches. And these include things like public health ethics, social epidemiology, political theory, history, critical anthropology, and there's actually even more. And all of these things, to a greater or lesser extent, are integrated into this paper. And that's part of the key of interdisciplinary work at all. This paper is not all of those things at once. What it is all sort of approaches and ideas and evidence and arguments are drawn from these different disciplines into a whole that is not reducible to the sum of its parts. That's what an interdisciplinary work actually is. And high quality writing in my classes, in this class in particular, is always highly interdisciplinary. And that's really, I think, sort of exemplified very nicely in this essay. So you've pretty much got it all. You've got form, in terms of the form of the persuasive essay, you've got content in terms of touching on the themes of the class, you've got interdisciplinarity in terms of the ability to integrate knowledge and evidence and approaches and arguments from different modalities. So really well done, and sort of an exemplum of student writing within my interdisciplinary approaches, I guess is what I'd say.